Hello everyone, this is Carrie for Redesign with Prima, and today I have a really exciting project that I finished, this antique folk art style chair. It was badly broken and damaged, and I brought it back to life and added some beautiful elements to keep the character of the chair. I used Decor Poly, chalk paste, and pigment powders to paint my Decor Poly with. These I wanted to add to the top of the chair, and I think that they match the style wonderfully. The Decor Poly is flexible and it can go around corners, it can go on flat surfaces, and it takes any art medium you want to throw at it. So today I'm starting with our Desert Rose chalk paste. I wanted to give it sort of a pink undertone because I know I'm going to be going in the details with warmer colors. So I wanted to kind of get rid of the darker gray and just give it a nice base coat of this light pink. And the chalk paste goes on really, really beautifully, dries permanently, and works like a dream. Now I'm going in with our Art Alchemy liquid medium and our pigment powder set. The pigment powder set has a lot of earthy tones, and by mixing the two together, I'm kind of making my own paint, so to speak. Now, I do recommend you wear gloves. I did not wear gloves doing this, but it's a good idea if you do. And I'm just squirting a little bit in the bottle of the liquid medium, about how much I think I'll need. And I'm going to make a batch of each color in this set. So here you can see this really beautiful plum color. There's dark oranges and deep reds, and there's even a gold. And it is so super shiny, which you'll see in just a bit. So here you can see I've just mixed up all of my paints in these little cups. And I really try hard to mix these well because sometimes the powders can clump up on you. So try to stir the powder first, then add the liquid medium, and then give them another good stir. Now I'm using my Finnabair brushes just to start adding in those details, those colors. This is a gorgeous earthy green. So I'm going in on the leaves and just making sure that I cover the edges. I prefer to paint these before I put them on my piece so that I can really get in the sides and all the little crevices and details nicely. And you can see how beautifully these are going on. So they're not quite transparent. They are just slightly. But for the most part, if you add 2 layers of this paint, you'll get really nice solid color. But I don't mind that the pink comes through. And now I'm adding the burnt orange color. These pigment powders are so highly concentrated and saturated that they really just look so vibrant when you add them to your projects. These powders can also be used in resin. I have experimented with them in resin, clear resin, and they work beautifully. So here you can see I'm just dabbing on these different colors. I'm kind of playing around with this. I wasn't really sure exactly the colors and how I wanted to add it as I was going, but I'm really having a lot of fun with this, and it didn't really take a lot of time at all. So here I'm just adding that beautiful plum color to some of the little details on the Decor Poly. So this allows me to customize it however I want. And like I said, I really wasn't sure what I was going to do when I started this, but I just was playing around and it was a lot of fun. And now here is the beautiful gold that I was mentioning before in this set. And you'll see just how beautiful and shiny it is. It looks like a liquid gold. So this I ended up mixing and spreading all over the entire surface once I was done adding all my colors, just to give it kind of like a gold finish. Now you'll see it's slightly discolored now, but then once the liquid medium dries with the pigment powder in there, it dries clear. And this just added just a little bit of shimmer and a really nice glaze. So it wasn't like really heavily concentrated gold. It was just a really nice finish, kind of going over all the other colors. Now I'm adding my Finnabair patina wax. So I wanted to just add a little bit of that turquoisey shades just to highlight some of those details because I knew that the base of my chair was going to be like sort of in the teals and turquoisey colors. That's what I was going for. I love those colors, so that's what I gravitate for my home. I just love pops of color. And you can see I'm just lightly going over it with my finger. You can use it with a wax brush if you want to add more, but I wanted more control over where I added it. And here you can see they're all finished. And this is where I wanted to add the Decor Poly to the chair. I decided around that really cute little cutout in the top of the chair. Now here is the chair. It's pine. It was badly broken. We went ahead and cleaned it, sanded, and had to do all kinds of wood filler and repairs, glue, all that stuff. So now I primed the chair pieces, and now I'm going in with this really beautiful dark teal. It's called Gatsby by Granny B's Paints, and I'm adding 2 coats of this. So what I'm going for is kind of a rustic layered paint finish. And now I'm going in with like a evergreen color. It's called G.I. Jane. It's a really beautiful green. And I'm just brushing this on lightly with a wet brush and misting, a fine misting of water. And I do take some baby wipes and just kind of wipe it back if I feel like I've added a little bit too much in certain areas, because I want that base teal color to come through. So I do this to all of the pieces. And once you start a technique like this, you want to make sure you stay consistent in all the pieces that you do so that every part of the chair comes out looking, the same. And then the last color I add is called Teacup Green. It's like a duck egg blue, also by Granny B's. This, I just wet my brush and I do a very light coat. So I don't really do a lot of wiping back with this, but you can. So it depends on how much color you want to come through, but it's fun to experiment with paint layers like this. And I do add a little bit of misting because I am working outside and the paint is drying very quickly. And I want to keep that paint wet so that I can just keep blending. And you can see it's just an easy light coat. And I prefer to do this with a brush. I feel like I have a little bit more control and it looks a little bit more rustic. I'm just doing a natural bristle brush. And there you can see I'm just misting and going in with that brush with a light coat. I'm not adding a lot of paint back to the brush. I'm just keeping it very, very light. And I'm so excited about this chair. It's just so unique and so beautiful. And it was so damaged that I just needed to bring it back to life. Now here you can see the Decor Poly is all ready. And what I do is I add a wood glue. So wood glue works perfectly if you're adding it to wood furniture. And I just put like a thin coat, not too heavy, because I don't want a lot of that glue to seep out around the edges. If it does, that's totally fine. But I try to make sure that I get into all those little areas, especially the smaller areas on the outside of the Decor Poly, because sometimes you miss those and you really want the whole piece of Decor Poly to stick to the chair nicely, especially when it's in use. A chair gets a lot of use. So I'm just smoothing the glue with my fingers to just try to even it out and getting into every little piece there. And I do this for both sides. And I like to lay out the Decor Poly ahead of time, like where I want it, and get it nice and even. So when I lay down the first piece, I know it's going to match up with the second one before I glue the second piece down. And I'm just making sure I tap all those little areas and make sure everything is nice and secure. Here's the second piece going down now. And I just love how this looks. And I love the burst of color against the teal. I just think it looks so pretty like this. And there you have it. There it is in all its glory. And I think I love that you can customize each and every little detail on these Decor Poly pieces. We do have a collection of 10 different designs, so please check them out on our website, redesignwithprima.com. You'll get to see all the different kinds, and this just makes DIY so much easier. And now I'm just going back in with a clear wax, and just so you know, when I did the clear wax, it did remove some of that patina wax that I had originally added. Wasn't really thinking that through very well, but wax is last. So even if I take some of it off, I can go back into that chair and add more later. And there it is with just the clear wax. It has such a nice silky smooth finish. I added about 2 layers of the clear wax and I let it cure overnight. And now I'm going to antique it with some antique dark wax. Now, adding the clear wax ahead of time allows you to move this antiquing wax around much easier. So you can make it heavier in some spots and lighter in others. You can just play around with it. And even if I get some in there that I don't really care for, I can take a cloth and wipe some of that back. And it's a lint-free cloth. That's what you want to make sure you use so it doesn't get stuck in your wax finish. And here I'm just dabbing and trying to accentuate those details even more so. And I think that the antique look really fits the style of this rustic chair. So I'm using a wax brush just to apply that antique dark and a piece of cardboard to get off the excess. So when I go to the chair, it doesn't add like too much at once. I can allow this layer to cure, and then I can go back with another layer of the antique dark if I choose. And if I get any spots on this chair that I don't care for, I can always remove it with clear wax. Clear wax will remove any splotches or, streaks of that antique dark that you don't like. So it's really kind of nice because even if you make a little boo-boo, it's fixable. And I think that wax just adds such a nice soft finish. It's really preferred for me. And it does stand up to the test of time, especially with a table or chair. And here it is all finished. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial today, and please read the description for all the products I used, and please subscribe and follow for more DIYs. Thank you so much.